think Shakur will win. Like, I think Shakur got better skill, and of course, he's just better defensively. Like, I'm always going with the better skill, the better defensive fighter. Tank skill is phenomenal.
Just recently, Tank and Shakur found themselves in the same live session, which turned out to be a battle of verbal jabs, which has been a usual thing between these two. He didn't even fight at 135 yet, right? He have power at 126.30, or none of that he is good? Okay, let's catch up on the ongoing heat between these two. He just jumped. You never see him slip no punch. You never see him slip no punch. Go look at it. You see him back up from a lot of people. Back up, move around now. In the fiercely competitive world, our favorite sport, verbal sparring can be as intense as the physical bouts in the ring. This was on full display during a recent live interaction between Shakur Stevenson and Van Davis, where both fighters exchanged heated words and harsh criticisms, each trying to assert their dominance and superiority. The conversation was a blend of confidence, bravado, and pointed jabs, highlighting the intense rivalry that exists between these two fighters. I like the young fell. He's feeling his. The dialogue began with Stevenson acknowledging the opinion of a mutual acquaintance who favored Van Davis over other fighters, including himself. This set the stage for the fiery exchange that followed. Stevenson, never want to back down, accepted the preference, but quickly asserted his own resilience, promising to knock out Tank when they meet in the ring. Davis, known for his formidable punching power and unbeaten record, was quick to respond. "The guy's dead," he said dismissively, indicating that he did not believe anyone, including Stevenson, could withstand his power in the ring. "Ain't nobody knocking me out, ain't nobody that dead." But that's a solid pick. Though this exchange of words was just the beginning of a conversation that would delve deep into their respective abilities, past performances, and future predictions, the heat soon shifted to their past performances in the ring. Stevenson mentioned his fights against Jamal Carring and Oscar Valdez, where he received considerable acclaim for his performances. After the fight, right after we do fight, and I show the world what I'm really made of. What are you going to say? Stevenson asked, challenging Davis to acknowledge his skill and potential. Hey, but after the fight, right after we do fight, and I show the word like what I'm really made of. What you going to say? Shakur was also criticized for his past successes, but criticized his performance against Edwin de los Santos. When you fought knockout, and you fought, name someone you can say you really fought. Even Edwin de Santos. I criticize every bit of you for those performances, Davis said it, implying that Stevenson's approach in those fights was lacking. However, Stevenson threw another jab at Tank. He suggested that if he fought Tank the same way he would fight at peak performance, he would not fare well. "If that was Tank in front of me on November 16th, if I fought the same exact fight, y'all would be saying something different," Shakur said, confident that he would have dominated in the same situation. "I mean, if that was Tank in front of me on November the 16th, if I fought the same exact fight, y'all be saying something different." Davis, undeterred, fired back, questioning Shakur's authority to judge his performance and push him to a fight with him. "I don't know who made you like the god, or like to tell me what's going to happen," Davis retorted, emphasizing that he would fight in his own style and his own will, regardless of outside opinions. This exchange underscored the tension between the two fighters, each confident in their abilities and dismissive of the other's critique. Not, "I don't know who like I don't know who made you like the god, or like to tell me what's going to happen, or like I'm going to fight how I fight regardless." As the heat progressed, the focus shifted to potential future matchups and the skills each fighter would bring to the table. Davis, confident in his abilities, was dismissive of the challenge Stevenson might pose. When asked if he thought Stevenson would be his hardest fight, Davis responded with a definitive hell. "No one of the guys. Obviously, you got into it on Twitter. He was like, you wanted them six. So yeah, he's definitely one of for sure. You think that's going to be your hardest fight held?" No, Davis went on to question Stevenson's boxing expertise. "Show me something that he did outrageous to show me his power, not outrageous his defense." "You think he got defense?" Davis questioned, suggesting that Stevenson's skills were overrated. He continued to criticize Stevenson's technique, claiming that he lacked proper defense and offensive innovation. "You never see him slip no punch. Go look at it. You see him back up from a lot of people. Back up, move around. He doesn't have any technique. And his offense is the same thing," Davis argued. "Told me something that he did. SP, show me something that he did outrageous. Show me his power, not outrageous his what defense. You think he got defense?" Despite Davis's harsh critique, Stevenson remained unfazed. He acknowledged that Stevenson had the internet excited with his statements, particularly about the 6 or 7 more fights he intended to have, including a potential bout with Tank. "He's definitely one of them for sure," Shakur confirmed, indicating that a fight with Davis was on his radar. "He don't got no technique, and his offense is the same thing. Go look at his fights." The conversation also touched on the supreme confidence both fighters have in their own abilities. Davis expressed his belief that he was unbeatable, stating, "The only person that could beat me is Van Davis himself." He dismissed the notion that Stevenson or any other fighter could pose a real threat to him. These guys cannot touch me at all. They all were in the ring with me. They all have been in the ring, and I cracked both of them," Davis boasted, referring to his past sparring sessions with top fighters, including Stevenson. "Yeah, right, you got the last one right. That's the only person that could beat me," Gervonta Davis. "That's the only person them cannot touch me at all." Stevenson, however, was equally confident in his own skills and potential. He asserted that he would fight his own way regardless of Davis's opinions or criticisms. "I'm going to fight how I fight regardless," Stevenson declared, maintaining his stance that his unique style and approach would be effective against any opponent, including Davis. The conversation concluded with a bold prediction of the future and legacy in the sport. Shakur expressed his belief that when all the fights were said and done, he would emerge as the greatest of his era. "When it's all said and done, the GOAT. When that's all, when he comes out on top," Shakur predicted confidently. Tank Davis Shakur Stevenson, "The one that comes out on top, the GOAT. When that's all, he anticipated that people would look back on this conversation and recognize that he had foretold his own greatness. "We going to come back to this meeting later on down the line, after all the fights that's being made, and y'all going to say this too was the truth. And he told y'all everything before it happened," Shakur asserted, suggesting that his confidence and foresight would be vindicated in the future. "We going to come back to this interview later on down the line, after all the fights that's being made, and y'all going to say this dude was the truth. And he told y'all everything now we don't know about you." But looking at Davis's top performance from his fights, those words are enough to intimidate someone like Shakur. And yes, apparently Shakur, even though expressing massive confidence against Tank, is a little intimidated, and a good proof of this is when Shakur saw a video of Tank sparing. The footage, which surfaced on social media, showed Jiv and Tank Davis brutally dominating Devin Haney during a 2017 sparring session. The video quickly went viral, and the reactions from the boxing community were swift and telling. Shakur Stevenson was among those who saw the footage and couldn't hide his shock. Taking to social media, Stevenson expressed his amazement at the severity of the punishment Haney endured. "Never in my life have I taken punishment like that by any fighter. Good Lord," Stevenson posted on X. His reaction showed the brutality of the sparring session and his astonishment at Haney's ordeal. Stevenson's statement carried a weight of surprise and possibly a hint of apprehension. It was clear that the video left a strong impression on him, as he openly admitted never having experienced such a severe beatdown in his training sessions. This admission brought into question whether Stevenson was expressing fear towards Davis or simply acknowledging the raw power and skill on display in the video. But we can tell there was a little fear in his statement. Stan Davis wasted no time in responding to Stevenson's tweet. His reply was simple but loaded with implication. "You know what's up to." This cryptic message was perceived as a direct warning to Stevenson, suggesting that if they were to face each other in the ring, Stevenson would face a similar fate to what Haney experienced in that sparring session.